Trent, we got Kittle, we got Bosa, we got Deebo. No, sorry, we don't have Deebo. We have Armstead, Jimmy Ward, and Fred Warner.
Now, back to Steiny and Guru on 95.7 The Game.
Wait, hold up. We're gonna have to run that back.
Oh, no doubt.
We're gonna have to run that back. Kyle Shanahan announcing the 49ers captains to the media here just a few moments ago.
We got Trent, we got Kittle, we got Bosa, we got Deebo. No, sorry, we don't have Deebo. We have Armstead, Jimmy Ward, and Fred Warner.
We have Deebo. Wait, we don't have Deebo? Was Deebo declared ineligible, or did Deebo not get the votes?
And I'm shocked.
Also, we don't have is Trey Lance.
Why isn't Deebo a captain? That dude
we know why Deebo's not a captain.
That's off the field stuff.
We know
on the field, he's led by example, Jay.
Deebo Samuel is not a captain because he quit on the 49ers in the spring and demanded a trade.
Oh, dude.
And sat out to get his paper and then showed back up.
I never knew we were this different. That's business, Jay.
Yeah, it is.
That is business.
It also disqualifies you from being a captain.
When he was on the turf in Dallas in the playoffs, limping on one foot like Bobby Brady in the frozen tundra in Green Bay, that's what captains do. So that's leadership, not the business part of
49ers captains announced. We had the list there as Kyle Shanahan making the announcement. Deebo Samuel, not a captain. Trey Lance is not a captain. Shanahan was asked about Trey not being a captain, and we should, for context here, provide the fact that the 49er players vote on it. So the 49er players
voted. Which means a lot more.
Which is another branch to this whole dynamic. Here's what Kyle said, and I got it, Spadone, about Trey Lance not being a captain.
Was 7th in the voting. I just don't want to put 7 on there. Deebo was 8. That's why I mentioned his name on accident. We just wanted to go with 6. They don't allow 8 to the coin toss, I don't believe. So it's also his first year starting for us. I think guys do, there's not many rookies who end up being the captains. I know this is his second year, but he's a rookie for us in terms of his first time being our starting quarterback.
Okay, so some of what you said there. All right. Some of what you said there, but yeah, so Deebo 8th and Trey 7th, and now, again, voted on by the players. Although I think initially he caught himself by saying...
Deebo?
Well, no, by saying they don't allow...
8.
Like he said, we didn't want to have 7.
But still, they weren't in the top 5.
I'd take Armstead off. I mean, if it was just me making the decision, obviously it's the players voting on it.
I'm just
and the question is this nothing or is this something?
Well, for me, and I'm telling you and the listeners, and they're split. Some agree with me. Some say, JD, you're right. But the scholarship, to me, giving Trey Lance or any rookie quarterback a C, you're giving a scholarship and you don't have a good culture. And you look around, Chi-Town, Jacksonville, that backs me up. I'm good there, I believe. But you talk about a team like the Niners that have Super Bowl aspirations and have been to the chip and almost got back. Jay, you got to earn that. That's all.
So
it is worth noting real quick, Katie, not to cut you off, that they did have 7 captains last year.
Okay.
And these were the names: George Kittle, Fred Warner, Trent Williams, Eric Armstead, Jimmy Ward, Raheem Mostert, and Jimmy Garoppolo.
There you go.
Damn, Deebo. He ain't trying to be Captain James T. Kirk.
And Jimmy Garoppolo, a captain in each of his full seasons with the 49ers.
I watched that last game, and the C was right there.
18, 19, 20, and 21 to be sure. So, yeah, you had 7, and maybe Shanahan was right. They don't allow 8, but they do allow 7.
But the fact that you had we're talking about the NCAA tournament, who got in, who didn't get in with Deebo, and this is not an indictment. Shaka was disappointed, and a lot of people on Twitch and YouTube are are we really doing that?
So as Kyle Shanahan explained, the players vote on the captains, and he decided to go with 6 and 7. I'll tell you what, if Trey Lance was 7, I would have gone with 7, number 1, and I would have...
So you think this is a bad look?
I also wouldn't have... I mean, it sounds like he just had the numbers right in front of him. It sounded like somebody handed them to him right before he went into the press conference.
Because to me, he assumed Deebo was a captain.
And then he messes it up. Like, come on, Kyle. I mean, I get it. at the end of the day, it really isn't that important.
But this is an indictment to you about, forget Trey Lance, the football, well, it is the football player. You just don't like.
Does it change, though, for you? Does the dynamic change with the player vote? Because to me, if you're being appointed, like if it's Kyle Shanahan appointing captains, deciding who he wants, Trey Lance should be a freaking captain.
Okay.
Like, to me.
This is why I believe right now I'm an NFL player. Because when you told me and myself and the listeners that the players voted, it has more substance. I don't believe this is an indictment from the players. They looked at him like he's raw. He's a rookie. He doesn't deserve the C yet. So when he does, and that day's probably going to come,
so it's better.
He gets the C. I think
it's better or worse that the players didn't vote him as a captain.
It's better. It's not bad. It's you got to earn it, and that's what the players, and that's the message they're sending. In other cities, I guess it's different. They just, hey, you're a quarterback. All right, here's the C. Nah, you got to earn it. And I appreciate the Niner culture and the players for basically sending that message to me. I'm not looking at Trey like, oh, you're not a leader. Because you're going to have to go lead regardless because you're QB1.
And as far as the conversation we were having earlier, well, just because of the starting quarterback doesn't mean you're automatically going to be a captain. Well, it actually does. And so the specifics of this, 32 teams in the NFL, and I guess Cleveland, Baltimore, Dallas, and Houston do weekly captains.
I didn't even know this. Wow. Weekly.
So it could vary, but, I mean, Lamar Jackson and Dak Prescott are going to be out there every week. I think we know that. Davis Mills is probably going to be out there every week as a quarterback that they currently believe in. We know Deshaun Watson would be, in all likelihood, if he were the starting quarterback. I would bet Jacoby Brissett is, at least going into it. We'll see as he comes out of it. But that leaves, so take those four out, we got 28 teams. So of the 28 teams, only the 49ers, 26 of them, their starting quarterback is a captain. 26 of those 28 teams. The only one that's not is Seattle, where neither quarterback, Locke or Geno Smith, are captains. The Niners are the only other one? That's not nothing?
Well, the 415 put it, I like it. He said the players will decide who they follow.
No. Is it an indictment of Lance that the players don't?
It's for Deebo.
Like, I think you could make the case that it's worse for Trey that the players didn't put him in the top 6.
All Trey should be worried about is he's the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. You go master that job. You shouldn't be worried about a C. That should be something you want to attain. And the fact that the Niner players, the veterans, are saying, you know what, youngster, you got to earn this. I love that. Now, there's another flip side to this, Jay. 19 problems, and arguably the best player on your team is not a captain. I just envision week 6 or 7 going across the middle. Lance overthrows it. Jimmy overthrows it. Hands come up. Like, why are you not a captain? And when they gave you that deal that you were holding out for and nobody knew why you were holding out, that's what we should be concerned with, not a youngster.
I do think we should come back to Deebo because I think that I understand that one. The 707, though, writes on the Comcast Business text line, does Trey not being a captain say more than it's letting on? Maybe he wasn't a captain because the other players don't respect him yet. If that's true, I feel like that's a problem. I just do. To me, you want your quarterback to have conducted himself in a way where he is viewed as one of the leaders, one of the CEOs of the franchise.
In the OTAs?
Yeah, from the moment that he was named the starter, which was basically February 1st.
That's too soon and too quick for me.
And look, if you want to say the Niners have a bunch of other guys that are leadership
and on that list,
then those names make a lot of sense. Could he have gone with another one? I mean, we'll see. The Deebo one, though, to kind of tie off the conversation, the Deebo one makes. See, you have a problem with that. To me, that one makes. That's clear cut.
Okay,
he was selfish. It
was business, Jay. You never talk about a team. No, he did not.
And then came back.
No, he was the reason you were playing in the NFC Championship game, mind you. So I'm looking at the stuff, what happens on the field. And you can't dare say what happened in negotiations. And even though it was a bad look, he scrubbed the IG.
He said, I want out.
Okay, but he came back. And things happened. and you know the rules. The rules are you don't speak on the next man's money or contract.
Right, and you're not.
Okay?
But you can speak to whether that makes him a good dude or not, or a leader.
Well, no, a leader is what I just mentioned. Playing when he's hurt, hampered, limping off the field, coming back in. That's the real captain to me. And nobody can doubt Deebo gives you everything that he can, every ounce of what he's got on the field. And you will say that. So this is all a bunch of hogwash.
So why is Deebo not? So why is Deebo
Maybe he
not
don't
a
want to
captain?
be. Maybe he don't want to be. Or maybe that could be it, Jay. Maybe he doesn't want to be. And again, maybe he's not good at it. But I know come Sunday in Chi-Town, I'm betting on 19.
Look, on the field, it's a non-factor for me.
All right.
On the field, it's a non-factor for me. Although, to your point, we'll see if anything has changed because now he got paid, and because Deebo didn't Deebo is maybe at a fork in the road with his Niner career, and you can say things worked out, but nobody viewed Deebo the way that they're going to view him moving forward. Like Deebo was basically like, I need mine, I want mine, fine.
But do you think he gets a rat's behind?
Well, he doesn't care, but my point is, how is he going to be viewed? And you could make the case that how his teammates view him has changed because this is new information from where the season left off. So how does he conduct himself because look, how you conduct yourself when you're making the big money is as important as how people view you differently.
But he's not doing sit-ups in his driveway, Jay. He's yet to play a game since he put his John Hancock on that contract.
But clearly, to me, the offseason had an impact on that.
And you should be I would hope you would be talking about it from a perspective, has anything waned from the front office in Deebo? But if you're going to turn your back on me, on how I negotiate to try to get my chicken, and you know what I do come Sunday, I feel like that's disrespectful.
Yeah, and that's fair. All I'm saying is we'll see how things play out as far as Deebo this year. Because you were the one saying, hey, is he going to be demonstrative if he's not getting the rock? Is he going to be ticked off if throws are missing him? That kind of thing. Maybe there's some guys in the locker room that are worried about that.
You might be right, but Jay, this is incredible, the reaction from the people. From the 510 Goo, that doesn't really make sense. If you're a leader and captain, that's not how you conduct business, as you say. Deebo not being a captain is obvious. Wow. I can't wait for the first interviewee to say, hey, Deebo, how come you're not a captain? Would he snap back? Would he get snarled? I mean,
he'd probably
obviously
be
you're implying dude, what's up?
He'd be like, I got 70 million reasons why, or whatever, or 58 million reasons why I don't
business
care.
Text line's going crazy, man. People think it's an indictment, but to give a rookie a C, I know you would just give it to him, Jay. Sounds like Spadoni and he would too. But for me, I don't think it's a big deal. You got to earn that thing.
All right, 888-957-9570. It's John Dickinson, Daryl the Guru Johnson here on 95.7 The Game. Trey Lance meeting with the media here just within the last few minutes, so we'll hear a little bit from Trey coming up as well. And, Kyle Shanahan met with the media a little bit earlier as well, addressed the injury to George Kittle, which is another big part of some of the breaking news from the top of the 1 o'clock hour. Kittle dealing with a groin, not going to practice today, and so we'll see how the week progresses there. But that's problematic.
Man, just came out of left field, but this is and the thing about it, Jay, is they didn't have a game last week to where he was playing.
Say that again.
Normally if it were week 4. Okay, he tweaked his groin in week 3. They didn't have a game. They've kind of just been watching from afar. So this is why it's troublesome to me. Like, how long has his groin been barking?
Yeah,
because you've been getting your football rest. I mean, good Lord.
Well, maybe he tweaked it in a walkthrough. He tweaked it on Monday. It sounds like it was before Monday, so maybe it was something last week before they took their little break. I think they had 3 days off. Let's get Chris in San Francisco, and then we'll hear from Trey Lance on not being named one of the 49ers' 6 captains. Hey, Chris.
Hey, fellas. So, I just wanted to add or just point out that 2 things. Regarding Trey, I think, we have to put we have to remember that Trey hasn't done anything. He hasn't played yet. He hasn't earned anything from his teammates. So I mean, we have to take that into consideration in regards to why he's not a captain. I mean, Trey Lance, he played his first year, so it makes sense that his second year he's a captain. Regarding Deebo, I think we have to look into the fact that you mentioned that when guys get their checks, they become demonstrative. I think we have to understand that football is one of the leagues where when you sign a contract, it's not like the NBA where everything is guaranteed. You have to now perform to earn that money that you've already put the work in for. So I think when you talk about guys being demonstrative and getting mad because they don't get the ball, it's now the money is earned is based on them getting the ball. So yeah, I'm sure you would be too if you were on the radio and your boss said, okay, you have to say these number of words during the hour, but you also have to share the amount of time that you're talking. And if you don't say these words on this amount of time, then you don't get your bonus, or you don't get
Sure.
the money that you were supposed to do in your contract. We have to think about that as well. So think about that as well.
Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Drew.
no, I love the call, but I disagree with him, Jay, because at the end of the day, I would never do anything to disrespect you. And we've all saw it. I hated when Tom Brady used to do it. Aaron Rodgers snapped their chin strap if they thought a receiver. I would never show you up with millions of people watching our game. And if nobody was watching, that's just me. I would never do that to you. So when I do see said player do it, and we see it sometimes, T.O., they're called divas or whatnot, but that's not a good look. And I'm not saying Deebo hasn't done that, but the way this is going, and I'm wondering why he didn't finish in the top 6 or why he's not a captain. I know you're about to play the sound. I can't wait to hear his answer on why he's not a captain, and his coach read his name at the 5th one answer, thinking he just knew he was one.
I'm not sure Deebo will even get asked about it. Now, we'll see. Now, Trey Lance was asked about it.
Why won't Deebo get him? Go ahead.
Well, because he'll just be...
They're scared of him?
I just don't think anybody really cares when push comes to shove.
Well, the text line and Twitch and YouTube, they do.
And what's the... Well, let's hear from Trey. Let's hear Trey Lance. Here's what he had to say about not being a captain.
Obviously, that's a goal of mine, but man, I don't think you can look at any 6 of those guys and be like, hey, that guy's a bozo, because those guys have all played football at a very, very high level. So yeah, situations are different. I'm excited. I voted for every single one of those guys, so I think each and every one of them deserves it. But yeah, it's definitely a goal of mine moving forward. But those guys have all proved it. That's what this league is all about.
All right, so there a very captain-worthy answer from Trey Lance.
Love it. That was presidential.
Very captain, and that's kind of what I'm getting at with respect to, if somebody said, "Hey, it's loser stuff," to say you hope he grows into being a captain. Not if he's the future your freaking franchise that you think is going to win you freaking Lombardi trophies. It's not.
But
because if you want to win a Lombardi trophy, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're going to win a Super Bowl this year, 49er fans, then Trey Lance is going to act like a freaking captain this year.
What if I told you it comes with the job? He can't run away from that. We're going to watch him lead. When he's in the huddle, Jay, he's calling the plays. That's leadership. That's a part of the job. Having the letter on now or next year, it's not an indictment. Is it odd? But for a receiver to be arguably your best player that's been here and just got paid and everything's supposed to be good in the hood, him not to get voted on, that's a concern.
The part that I do agree with.
That's telling.
The part that I do agree with as far as Trey goes is you can't really argue with the other 6 names. Those are all high-quality dudes.
And I said that to you earlier.
Those are all high-quality dudes. I get.
They have been around, Jay.
I get that.
Okay.
I get that.
And how disrespectful would it be to one of those dudes on the list? Had you given it to Trey?
Well, no,
because they obviously take this serious if they vote.
To me, it wouldn't. To me, if Eric Armstead isn't there, nobody's saying why is Eric Armstead not there. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Like, that's part of what happens with being the starting quarterback. Being QB1, like nobody cares.
Yeah.
If Jimmy Ward wasn't on there and Trey Lance was, nobody cares. Like, that's just no disrespect to Jimmy Ward, who is a terrific leader.
I like him.
But nobody cares. Maybe Fred Warner, Kittle, somebody like that, but it just...
So what about my...
See, it's interesting because which part? I want to make sure I'm
Well,
giving you the
QB1, you're a natural leader. So that's going to happen regardless.
But that's exactly
And
why
that's what
every
we're
one of
judging
these
them
other
on.
teams have their quarterback as a captain.
But that C on their chest before you get on the field doesn't mean you're going to succeed, nor it has nothing to do with what you're going to do on the field. Give me that. Trey's going to be the QB1. You got to be a leader.
To me, there's just and it's fair to understand that, okay, they don't believe in him yet because they haven't seen it.
I love it.
Like, I get that. But to me, you want to show the dude that you do believe in him. Like, you want to put that, yeah, we believe in the way that you've carried yourself.
Well, you lost that when they brought 10 back, right? Because we thought he was out of here for Trey's psyche. Remember we were saying
I tell
that?
you right now, Jimmy Garoppolo would be a captain. If,
Well, he was. Yeah, he ain't one now.
and they had 7 last year. So why only 6 this year?
I'm shocked.
Why didn't you
you
take
feel
number
this
7? Why
So
didn't
what
you
are
take
you telling
7?
us, Jay? What are you telling
Like,
us?
I'll be honest.
about Trey Lance?
If I'm Shanahan, and clearly he didn't care. Like, clearly Shanahan didn't care because he read the list like it was written on a napkin that he wiped his mouth with after
that's
having a
pretty good.
sandwich
That's
before
a
he walked
4.
into the press conference.
Oh, that's a 4.
So clearly he doesn't care. But I'll be
Deebo.
honest with you. If I'm, he didn't care about Deebo either.
I feel like that was a shot.
You could make the case.
I'm serious. Like,
But what's fun? But I think there's a lot of different dynamics.
That was a
And
little jab.
But like I'm less concerned about it seems like you're more concerned about the Deebo part, and I'm more concerned about the Trey part.
Yep.
Which is fair. I mean, that's just difference of opinion on that. But if I'm Kyle, I'm at least taking 30 seconds extra to look at it and say, you know what, I'm going to go with 7. Trey was 7. I'm going to go with 7. And I'm not going to give the actual vote total order because of the way it's written on my napkin.
Wow, man. A lot of people say it on Twitch, JD. Who cares to Twitch? We love them. That you're channeling your inner Steiny. Like, they're shocked you feel this strongly that he wasn't named captain.
It's just not nothing. I don't know that it means anything as far as how he's going to play.
He's young,
but
he's raw.
to me, it's a statement that there isn't a confidence in him.
Okay.
That
Let me
I
just
want
give this
there
to
to
you.
be. Because that's more important. Like that, the rest of that locker room having confidence in Trey Lance is more important than them having confidence in Eric Armstead or Jimmy Ward.
But what about the other 6 captains mentoring this guy to where when they do the vote next year, he'll be one of the
If
captains?
he isn't the captain next year,
Like, to me, this is not just an exercise. This is real. They looked around and said, to me, Jay, who's been here? It ain't about how good you are. Who's been here? And this is not an indictment on a young kid about to start his first season in the NFL. I like it. It means more. I don't know what they're doing in those other cities. And it was damning that you guys said all the other quarterbacks had it. But, Jay, you got to earn that C, bruh.